It's such a personal connection to work with an advisor. There are few relationships in your life that you have to develop that same level of trust, and there are solutions for those other types of relationships. Why not here too? I think it is very personal. It is very much a gut feeling. So the ability to Meredith's point, to systematize it, to really productize it, if you will, to get to better outcomes, has been a fun journey.
Hi there. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joanna Ehresman.
And I'm Leah Alter.
And this is WomenShare, a celebration of women in financial services. We want to thank Catchlight, our presenting sponsor of WomenShare. Catchlight helps firms save time and grow AUM by predicting which leads will most likely convert and suggest content and ways to engage them. Learn more at catchlight.ai/womenshare. That's catchlight.ai/womenshare.
And speaking of Catchlight, we are just thrilled to welcome Meredith Lambert and welcome back Yelena Melamed from Catchlight. We are in for a real treat today. Both Yelena and Meredith have been with Catchlight from the very beginning and had important roles in getting this beautiful AI product launched. Today, they work side by side as head of product and head of design and customer success, respectively, to continue to help financial advisors prospect more efficiently and effectively. And we just cannot wait to get into what they are working on right now. Little hint, it's a game changer. We're so excited to have you both on the podcast. Welcome to WomenShare.
So happy to be back chatting with you both again.
And excited to be here for the first time. After Yelena told me about her experience, I said, sign me up. How can I get involved?
We love that.
We love
that. Yes. Yeah. So good to have you back, Yelena and Meredith. So happy to have you joining us. There's a lot we want to get into with both of you, both about Catchlight and your experience as women in fintech. So just to level set for listeners who may not be familiar with the product, specifically after my phenomenal 10-second intro just a moment ago. Let's go a little bit deeper. Tell us about the Catchlight platform and what it is designed to do. Yelena, let's start with you.
Happy to share a little bit more with your listeners. We help advisors grow more efficiently and effectively, to your point, by enriching the profiles of leads they work with data to help them organize and qualify the prospecting funnel, whether it's cold or across lines of business. We then layer AI, like the Catchlight score, which is trained on a growing set of conversions for paid advice, to allow wealth management firms to prioritize those in their pipeline that look most similar to those that seek advice. With a filtered and qualified leads, we then create efficiency and help with the effectiveness with offering a connected experience to next best action for advisors, whether it's prioritizing the content out of an existing digital marketing library or creating the content from scratch, all the way to offering a relevant article to enable personalized engagement. Really think about it soup to nuts, helping understand, qualify, and engage.
It's such a cool product. I have seen it very close and personal, and it really is such a great product for advisors who just say that they don't have time to prospect. You guys have taken that excuse away, and I love that.
Well, and I just think about all of the time and effort that went into in my corporate role. Like it took us years to build that ecosystem and just how far things have come where it's like, as an advisor, as a firm, now you have these off-the-shelf solutions, so to speak, right? It sounds like there's a fair amount of customizability to make it relevant to your firm as well. But it's just so incredible that how far we've come in enabling advisors to grow faster. That's amazing.
Yeah. And congratulations on the new model and advanced technology within the platform that you guys are calling lead routing. So can you tell us a little bit more about that, how it works, and how you are helping to pair the right advisor with the right investor?
Well, thank you for highlighting that. But before I even dive into that, first of all, I want to say that the product came together because of feedback from great partners like you. And so that feedback really allowed us to build where we are today, but also what we've just built out, which is to your point, what we're calling a lead routing. It is currently in a beta. It is a lookalike model that enables lead routing. The way to think about it is, think you watch a movie on Netflix, and it recommends for you what are the next 3 movies that you might enjoy that are similar to the one that you just spent time watching. So it's really aimed to increase the lead pipeline generation efficiency to help firms funnel leads to teams or to advisors who specialize in specific clients, so that they are kind of working with similar type of profiles, really using their background, their expertise to advantage those consumers on the other side that seek their support. This is done by first analyzing a seed set of existing clients for a group of advisors or across the firm. And then effectively the model finds lookalikes within a group of prospects, either ones that are coming in that are fresh on a daily basis, or those that they already have in their funnel. And it really aims to identify the advisor or team that's most closely aligned to work with that given lead, again, to help create really effective partnerships between advisors and investors.
That's really interesting because, historically we worked on advisors self-reporting. I love to work with, or I'm good at working with this type of client. And we did that more qualitative, I would say, match, right? Of just saying, okay, you said, and just the fact that you can actually help to either validate that through the data to say, yes, this is the profile of the type of person that you work well with, or expose, you may not know this, but you actually are really great in this area. Like, talk about powerful insight for both the advisor, but then also like the corporate team who's helping to generate leads for them or whomever it may be to really find those matches. So that data seems extensible even beyond, yes, it's primarily about lead routing and matching, but just it inspires a creativity in thinking about how do they bring that to their content, their messaging, their personal kind of like social profile, et cetera. So that's awesome.
I think also on the client side, right, we've had several guests over the last few months talking a lot about next gen in terms of the younger generation that is set to inherit all of this money and how they like to be marketed to and courted. And this seems like a real next level personalized way of getting matched with an advisor who is going to be aligned with you, whether that's like your values or a million different niche that would work for them. But it seems like a much more personalized, and we know that next gen is really looking for that personalization.
I can actually share a story on that, where I have a personal friend who, works with an advisor, and she's on her second advisor. She's my age, right? Sort of that next gen G2 perfect target, where the first person she was with, she just didn't really click with. It was someone that her parents had used, but that, she just found that, they just weren't able to sort of talk at the same level, talk about the same things. And she did not yet have Catchlight. But with her second advisor, as the first one sort of transitioned out of the business and she was paired with someone else, she loves that relationship. They talk about concerts that they go to. They talk about sports that they catch on the weekends. And it's just such a night and day through her lens. And we're always looking at it through the lens, certainly of the advisor, right? And of the teams, but just thinking about it from the lens of, the investor, the client, she's over the moon with this new advisor. And it's really just because it's that ineffable match where they just click, right? And they're of a similar age, similar interests. And I think what is really cool about this lead routing beta is it takes what was sort of always something of a vibe, right? That you'd kind of have to feel, right? You'd have to kind of be like, well, I think they would work well with this person, and actually turns it into something that's a little bit more like hard programmatic, right? Like, using the data to find out what was previously just so, so just based off of, if it worked or it didn't. And so I think it's really cool to be able to bring that to the market. And we're excited to have people start using it.
Well, and it's so great for advisors too, because when they're working with clients that like they are really fired up about and excited to, that they elevate their, the work and the passion around that too. It just, for both sides, it just makes it a better experience.
It's such a personal connection to work with an advisor. There are few relationships in your life that you have to develop that same level of trust, and there are solutions for those other types of relationships. Why not here too? I think it is very personal. It is very much a gut feeling. So the ability to Meredith's point, to systematize it, to really productize it, if you will, to get to better outcomes, has been a fun journey with a lot of our beta partners. It'll continue to be. I think this, like our original product, will continue to evolve based on the feedback we receive. So we're excited to get that.
That's great. And also just for the corporate marketers who are listening, of whom, we've been in their shoes. I also am excited for them to be like, hey, this is one more reason why you could actually have some faith in the power of marketing as an advisor, right? If they're actually experiencing these better quality connections. So
yeah,
love that.
Not so squishy.
Right? Yes. Because sometimes it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If there's skepticism about the quality of leads, right? It's going to be harder to right-size the results. Before we get into our next question, though, I do want to actually take a moment to shout out some other members of Catchlight. Again, as their presenting sponsor of the show, we want to highlight that Dan Gilmartin, the head of marketing at Catchlight, is actually host of a podcast called Grow Organically, where he has conversations with wealth management and financial pros and really breaks down some of the growth best practices that they're implementing.
Yeah, and they talk a lot about how organizations continue to be forward thinkers in today's very competitive landscape. So make sure you add Grow Organically to your podcast rotation, and you can learn more about that at catchlight.ai/WomenShare. That's catchlight.ai/WomenShare.
All right. Now back to our discussion here. We talk about the fact that women make up only 25% of the workforce in financial services. And knowing, Meredith and Yelena, you're actually both financial services, but specifically fintech, right? The kind of niche within that area. Looks like the data shows that's only about 11% women represented in the workforce. So the fact that the two of you are at one organization, we're just so excited about that. We're like giving the virtual high five. That way to go, Catchlight, for having the strong women representation compared to the rest of the industry. We'd love to hear, what's it been like for the two of you to, have your careers in such a male-dominated space, and how has it been having each other in the same organization? So Meredith, we'll turn it to you first.
Oh boy, sure. I mean, it certainly has come a long way, although as evidenced by, those sobering facts that you shared, we've got a long way yet to go. But I don't know, I'm thinking back to some of, earlier in my career where I was asked to come to meetings. I was asked to come and, pitch or meet with clients because, they had looked at the team who was going to be attending, and there was not one woman like showing up, and they're like, "Ooh, this is a problem. Hey, Meredith, you want to come along?" Not because I, had anything to say or anything to contribute or anything like that. It's just that they looked around the room and they were like, "Ooh, this is not a good look," because we're going and meeting with, half of the room is going to be other women. And so I feel like we've evolved beyond that. I would hope. I don't know. I'm looking around. And I guess, I don't know. I'm just so lucky and have had such a wonderful working relationship with Yelena over Yelena the past 5 years. Does that sound right?
Wow.
I mean, like longer than, all of my romantic relationships. No. Just leaning on her expertise and her knowledge, and I know I wanted to say, hey, no, we've had it out, or we've had our challenges. I don't think we ever really have. Like, I think we challenge ourselves. I think we challenge each other. I think sometimes I go, is that really a feature? Do we really want to do that? Right. But it's always to the better of the product and of the clients that we serve. And so, I mean, I guess I'm speaking from a position of privilege that I've never had to think about, like, what it is like to be on a leadership team where there are no other women, or there are no, there are no women at all. And now you folks casting it through that light, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I am really lucky. And Yelena, thank you.
I feel like I'm like tearing up here. I have had a lot of diverse experiences through the career, and I think I mentioned it in our earlier conversation with Leah and Joanna, and it's definitely been an evolving space in terms of representation from people like me. I think working in Catchlight and getting to know Meredith has been an awesome experience. I think similar to Meredith, this is going to be a tear jerker here. I feel like I've learned a ton because my background is engineering. My background is product. However, she is by heart and a researcher, naturally curious. And whenever I feel like I need to fill in the silence, she's taught me to shut up. So I think it's been incredibly rewarding to partner with Meredith and learn from the conversations. And I think the team, beyond just the two of us, is highly diverse. Gender, what industry they come from, all sorts of ages and skills represented. It's really been a very, very interesting journey. And I think what I take away from that, if I think about my career and some of the metrics you shared, is the more diverse your team, your partners are, the better the outcome. I can comfortably say that because we bring together such a wide array of ideas and formulation of solutions for those problem statements that we hear every single day. It's akin to nothing else. If you're working with the same type of people that come from the same industry, it's really hard to get that type of diversity. So we've been really, really lucky to work within a team that's structured kind of diversity first.
And it really is so special, I mean, in financial services in general, but really when you get into the tech space, it's been a boys club forever. And, you guys are really blazing some really great trails, as leaders in the team. But the product that you guys, congratulations again on your wealthmanagement.com industry award. Those are well earned and hard, always super competitive. So you guys are putting out an outstanding product. And just working with both of you too, I will say you have always really been on the same page, even if there were different opinions on an approach, or what do you think of this, or whatever. It was very clear what like the goals and the mission are, what we're focused on, the end goal being. And you guys have always, both of you have just always been on the same page. The respect that you have for each other is very clear when working with you all.
That's amazing. And I'm glad that it comes through, and I'll share what I tell other people on the team is I want to grow up to be Yelena one day. So
Me
I don't know if she
too.
wants to grow up to be me, but you too, Leah? Yeah.
Yes.
100%.
I'd like to be Yelena when I grow up. I'd like to ask kind of a follow-up question because we are seeing more women wanting to enter the tech space, and we are seeing more of that happen. What advice would you all have as somebody wanting to kind of get in this space? Any lessons kind of learned along the way that you could pass along to someone listening?
I just say, be courageous. There's definitely time to shut up when you listen to clients and you want to learn about their problem statements. But the time when you're interviewing for your role, creating ideas, want to try something, want to move the team forward, want to move the product forward. It doesn't matter what your product is, and it may be service. Speak up, have your voice be heard. It matters just as much as any other voice. And I think that people that I see get ahead in our industry are those that are passionate about what they do and are not timid to say it.
I would add on to that. I think sometimes women can put themselves in a position of, I don't know if I quite have that experience, right? And saying, oh, look, it looks like they want 8 to 10 years. It's only been 6.5 years, right? And I would say, as much as that, you may have that impulse of to say, okay, well, I'm not sure. I don't know. Do it. Lean in. Confidence in yourself. You are smart, you're skillful, you're gonna, I think if you seize an opportunity, women that I have worked with, I've been lucky enough to work with, are some of, the most accomplished, driven, fantastic coworkers. And I think sometimes folks, and you raised it yourself, you two raised it. There's traditionally there has been a lot of women in the industry, right? There is a little bit of the boys club. And I think sometimes people might look at that and say, oh, not for me. Like, I could,
Right.
or, oh, I don't have enough of a background. And am I going to know enough? And it's like, you either will, you're either discounting yourself, or you trust yourself that you're going to figure it out, right? That you're going to, if you're able to take that opportunity is given to you and you lean into it, that you're very quickly gonna get up to speed and start crushing it. So that would be mine. Just go for it. Don't let anybody, don't let that interior voice, what RuPaul would say, your inner saboteur, don't let them don't give into it, right? Like, you've got just as much skill, just as much talent as anyone else. And so don't hold yourself back.
I love it. I mean, if an episode has a drag race reference, we have nailed the episode. That's amazing. Go ahead.
All right. So we ask every guest that comes on the show, what's the best career advice you've received? And Meredith, let's start with you on this one.
All right. Best career. This was hard. But it actually came down to one of my early mentors, woman in, being a creative director. My background is in a little bit of design as opposed to finance. And she turned to us one day and said, hey, don't you guys know, I'm just here to let you do great work and to get, to remove obstacles, right? To let you, reach the highest capability, the highest, skill set that you have. And I'm here to support that. I'm here if you need it, but I'm mostly here to remove obstacles. And so my advice is hire smart people and get out of their way. And I think that goes on both ends, right? It's both if you are an individual contributor on a team, or you're maybe a little bit more junior in your career and you are, really supposed to be just very deeply skilled in one area or another, look to managers and expect that managers are there to just let you let you do that at the highest of your ability. And that might mean aligning you to work that you really love and that you're passionate about and that you're going to crush, or removing obstacles from you growing in your career, right? And being able to contribute, at 110%. Then I think from the manager side, it's the same thing, but it's hire smart people, find people who are skilled and talented, and like do what you have to do to let them run, right? And put them in the spotlight, remove obstacles from their career, align it so that they're achieving, their highest level of output at work. And so I think that's it. And I think it goes both ways. And I've sort of kept it, from earlier in my career when I was the one working with the manager, to later in my career where I was the manager and I was leading a team, and I was figuring out just, all right, we've got smart people. How do we get them to be able to do just great work and do so without impediment? So that's me.
Love that. It sounds like a dream manager.
I Jody, if you're out there, if you're listening, I want to grow up to be Yelena, absolutely. But I have a little wristband that says, "What would Jody do?" So
I love that. How about you, Yelena?
I had to remember what I said and go back into my memory files last time. And I think it was do the job you want versus the job you got. When I was looking at what my career ladder would represent and having a conversation with a manager long ago, and that stuck with me. And so that is by far still the top one, but I can't leave you without one more. I feel like it's my fortune cookie. I think, I had a tough experience building a product some years ago, and really kind of this aspiration for it to be perfect, to everything to be perfect. And I had a manager say to me, actually it was a peer, she was overseeing a larger team, and she said, well, just fail elegantly. What do you mean, Kathy? My light keeps going off. Sorry about that. Fail elegantly. And to me, I had to seek clarity. Her point was simply that failure is good. It's not a bad thing. The ability to recognize that something didn't work out and approach a problem-solving opportunity differently is really, really meaningful and has stuck with me. What she was really saying is keep failing until you get it right. Fail elegantly as a phrase just sounds so, I interpreted it in many different ways until I had the guts to go and ask her about it. But that has stuck with me. So Kathy, if you are listening, that stuck with me for a long time, still with me.
Well, and I think, it's the old saying of like, it's not how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you get back up, right? So I don't know if getting knocked down is elegant, but when you said it, I imagined somebody in a gown falling down the stairs.
As did I, yes.
I pictured a fainting couch. I'm like, maybe that's what the fainting couch is of all the
I love that. Well, if somebody wants to learn more about Catchlight and connect maybe directly with both of you, what is the best way for them to do that? Meredith, you want to start?
Sure. Yeah. So I would say certainly catchlight.ai, which is our website. You can visit us there, learn about the product, sign up, for a demo, or watch some of our recorded webinars. And then you can find me on LinkedIn. I believe I am Meredith Lambert on LinkedIn. One of the OGs, signed up in 2008, something like that. So that's Meredith Lambert on LinkedIn.
Awesome. And we'll have all that, everything that you guys mentioned will be linked in the show notes for everyone.
Oh, and Catchlight on LinkedIn as well. So we're actually very active on LinkedIn, posting. I would say it's a great source for, thought leadership, white papers. We try to share a lot with the industry. And so absolutely give that a follow as well. Ignore me, follow Catchlight. Don't worry about me.
Both. It's both and. Both
Oh,
and.
yeah.
And you, Yelena?
Yeah, no, I would reinforce everything that Meredith had already said. I think you've mentioned some of our latest in thought leadership, and that is a podcast that Dan Gilmartin, our CMO, records with marketing leaders such as yourselves that are practicing within RIAs, and some of what we've learned from them and how they've been able to grow some of their pipelines, their efforts, their brand. Really, really interesting stories, very personal, a lot of very diverse backgrounds on that as well. So give that a listen. It's a good one.
Outside of the office and all the fun Catchlight news that we got to cover today, what else can we celebrate with each of you? Yelena, we'll start with you.
I am about to celebrate a driving child in the family, which is both exciting and mortifying all the same. I am extremely proud of my daughter, of all the things that she's been achieving in her 16 years. Also mortifying to think about having a 16-year-old and all the other fun that it comes with. But I think for me, especially this week, that's the celebration.
That's a big one.
Freedom from chauffeuring.
Yeah.
I hope I have a little bit left. Yeah, a little bit. Maybe she'll choose me as a driver for a little longer.
Yeah,
I hope.
That's sweet.
Oh, I love it. That's so good.
Congratulations to both of you.
Yeah. Meredith, how about you?
Yeah. So this week marks one of our annual Lambert family reunions, and so I am celebrating seeing aunts and uncles and cousins and nephews and nieces and all of that fun stuff. And in particular, I was able to, and I will celebrate, hooking a 36-inch striped bass that,
that's a huge bass.
I know.
That's huge.
You hear these jokes about fish pictures and fish stores, and yeah, okay. I proceeded to share it around the office this morning, and people's jaws were on the floor. This is a beautiful specimen. So I'll celebrate the time with family, and in particular, poor Nemo, who, R.I.P. Was
the catch of the year. Catch of the year.
Yeah, exactly. Catch light, catch fish.
Catch heavy.
Yeah. It was meant to be. That's awesome.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
I think our fishing reference count is up to like 7 across this podcast now, and I am here for it. Sorry.
Yeah, Joanna's always trying to slip in a good fishing metaphor, and I'm always like, okay.
Love it.
Well, once again, we want to give a shout out to Catchlight for backing our mission here at WomenShare. Catchlight's platform can build data-rich profiles and score your leads to help you increase efficiency and improve conversion. Check them out today at catchlight.ai/WomenShare. That's catchlight.ai/WomenShare.
And we want to thank both Meredith and Yelena again for coming on the show today. This was such a great conversation, but that is our show for today. So if ours is a mission that you want to share in, please subscribe to WomenShare on your favorite podcast platform. With that, I'm Joanna Ehresman.
And I'm Leah Alter, and we will catch you on the next episode of WomenShare.